Happy Thursday and happy Facebook Live time. Welcome to Melissa's Crafting Treehouse and to Treehouse TV. Whether you're joining live or on the replay, I'm so happy that you're here. Thanks for joining in. So I have some fun projects for you today featuring sneak peeks from the Simple Sweet Stampers tutorial bundle from February. Very colorful projects. I'm excited to share them. And of course, some announcements and updates for you. I actually received a box this afternoon, like a matter of moments ago. So I will be saving that to the very end to show you what was in my box. Big mystery. I see people joining in. Welcome. Hello, Mary. I saw other names, but oh my gosh, it's amazing how they slip my head. I'm concentrating on what I'm saying. So I'm so glad you're joining in and here. So the theme for the Simple Sweet Stampers tutorial bundle this month is a suite called, what is it called? Snail Mail. And we always have a range of choices of things that we can create with, and including mostly the suite. Most people design with the suite, but then we have other pages we can choose from. I chose things from the other pages, so that means my projects are going to be a little bit different from the rest. And when I went to go redesign someone else's project, which is what I always do in order to bring you some additional sneak peeks, I had to mix things up, so that just means fun for me. So I'm excited to share that with you. All right, so let's do the quick announcements first, and then we'll go from there. Hi, MJ. Let's see. Yes, so this past weekend, I hosted with some of my fellow demonstrator friends our Makers Mojo Creative Escape event. It was super fun. I just had a blast. It was really fun to have that interaction and social contact because we were on a Facebook group. And, while we demonstrated, you could read the comments and everything. Anyway, it was just a blast. It was all day, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So anyway, it was a blast. I love it. I'm so happy to have had people there joining with me, and I hope you will consider joining in the future because it was just a blast. So there's that. And then, okay, so last week I mentioned that I was going to announce the new technique class topics that are going to be for the next 3 classes. I do my technique classes every other month. So there is one scheduled for this month. This month is a pre-order month when I say the club month. And so here are the topics. They were in my newsletter today. If you subscribe to my newsletter, you would have seen it there. But here's the first one. February is fun with rubbing alcohol. It's a little bit mysterious. But I've been playing with rubbing alcohol and I want to share what I have played with. Super fun. April's going to be creative dry embossed backgrounds with dyes. Also a little bit mysterious, trying to keep it a little mysterious. I have some fun ideas for that one. And in June, I'm going to be doing sponging landscape scenes, which is one of my favorite things to do. So I'll be doing some fun creative things with that. So if you have never taken one of my technique classes, I think you're in for a treat. We sort of do a deep dive into any given technique, and it's a lot of fun. If you're a team member, you get the electronic materials for those classes absolutely free. All you have to do is tell me you want them and you get them, so that's pretty fun. And I do offer several ways you can get it. If you're not a team member, you can join a club and purchase product. You can buy a subscription and pay a fee. And if you buy it as a subscription, you're getting 3 classes at once. So it's a reduced price over an individual class. And then you can buy individual classes too. So all that information is on my website. Let me know if you have questions about it. I do have some announcements that are going to come at the end of today's Facebook Live. If I'm going to remember all these things I'm supposed to do at the end. I'm going to announce a few changes to my technique class format, and I'm really excited about these changes. I think they're a smart choice for me, and I'm excited to share it, but you're going to have to wait to hear. So there's that. What else? Okay, another thing I'm super excited about is that somebody who is often here with us on Facebook Live, Wendy is her name, and she is in the United Kingdom. She told me sometime last week by email that she had seen my black ice technique featured in an article in an online magazine called craftworld.com. So I was super excited because oftentimes people will share my technique. Maybe they don't know that I created it. And so they don't mention me or anything, but when people mention me and give me credit, it makes me so happy. And the article was just, really wonderful, sort of complimentary, and linked back to one of my videos, and even quoted something that I said in one of my blog posts. So in my newsletter today, I included a link to that in case you want to check it out and celebrate with me. Super fun. And if you don't know a little bit of the history, the technique was sort of something that my mom and I kind of stumbled on, and in our playing. My mom had this vision of something she wanted to see happen, and since I know the supplies and materials, we just started playing, and we came upon this really cool look, and then came up with the name Black Ice based upon how it looked. So anyway, check out that article. It definitely feels like a big, it's one of my more noted things that I have done in my crafting career. So very proud of it. Let's see, what else? Last but not least, the Hey Chicks bundle and Hey Birthday Chicks bundle are now available for customers to order. Demonstrators have been able to order it this past month. And it's sort of close to my heart. It's honestly, I have to tell you, I'm not drawn to this style of stamps. And if you know me at all, you know that that's true. Now, however, one of the sentiments in the set is Hey Chick. And if you know me at all, you know my team of demonstrator are the Treehouse Chicks. So very close to my heart. So hey, I have to have a stamp that says Hey Chick. And to use these images. So I got the stamp set, which I probably had years ago when it first came out, and I gave it away probably. And then the dies. And one of my favorite things in this set is the corn, whatever that is, corn stalk, and then some of the other cute little images like the barn. So I'm going to stretch my creative powers, and I'm going to create with this thing that is not necessarily in my comfort zone, but I have seen some super cute things with this Hey Chick stamp set and dies. And then there's a second stamp set and dies, which I didn't actually get. It's called Hey Birthday Chick, and it's just kind of an expansion on the whole thing, and the two bundles coordinate beautifully. The projects that I've seen, they all kind of mix up, and they're the same style of chickens, the same style of art, shall we say. So, I'm so glad you kept your Hey Chick too. I wish I had. I was searching through to see if I could find it in my things, but alas, didn't find it. So I just bought it, bought the bundle. So I'm excited to play with that. So stay tuned. And if you want to be a chick, just let me know, because I'm happy to bring you into the fold. We have a great team of demonstrators, super creative women who I like to create with and share with and chat with and everything. So we have a lot of fun together. Okay, what else? I think that's it for the main announcements, except for the two things that I'm going to save till the end. And if I seem like I'm closing and I'm forgetting and somebody wants to remind me, feel free to do that. So I'm going to tell you something about my something changing in my technique classes. And what was the other thing? Oh yeah, my box that I got in the mail today. I'm going to share what I got in the box. A little sneak peek of things to come. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to face the camera down. We're going to look at the projects that I have for you. Two projects. One is my contribution to the Simple Sweet Stampers tutorial bundle, and the other is my remake of one of my design team members' projects. Super cool, cute project, which I'll show you her version, and I'm going to show you mine because I didn't have what she had to make with it. So here we go. We'll switch y'all around. All right, so I'm going to start by showing you, taking a quick look at the pages of the catalog that we had to mess with here. So to familiarize yourself with what our challenge was. Okay, so Snail Mail is the suite. You can see the color scheme: Bermuda Bay, Real Red, Daffodil Delight. There's some basic gray in there somewhere in the mix. and Blushing Bride, which is not a color that's usually my go-to. In fact, I didn't even use it in my projects. And then here are some of the other coordinating products. So I didn't get any of those. The only thing I had were these lovely, fun resin hearts, which are adorable, and I did use those on my project. So we were able to create from all these pages that I'm showing you here. And my project, my remake, is made with the Floating and Fluttering bundle, which I think is just so pretty. And that's what I'm going to show you first. And then the project that I made for my contribution to the tutorial bundle is made with this bundle here. I didn't actually use any of the images in here. I used the dies, because the dies are, when I first saw this, I was just like, I have to have those dies. I just love them. So hopefully you're going to enjoy the projects that I have to share today. So those are the projects. Okay, I just realized I'm going to make some noise here because I did my boo-boo and I forgot to put my mic on me. So hopefully the sound hasn't been too bad. It's always a little bit muffled when I forget to do that. So sorry about that. All right, so let's get started. So I wanted to show you, you saw this, the snail mail suite, and I'm telling you, if I had seen all these cute projects that people created for the tutorial bundle, I probably would have bought the suite. So I'm going to start by showing you design team member Joe Blackman's project. She created this one. This is going to be my remake. Look how cute that dang snail is. Who would have guessed? So adorable, and she did a beautiful job of coloring it, and then of course the outside element. It's just a really simple, cute, classy card, even though it's a little snail on the front. So stay tuned for my project, which is going to be a remake of that. So we're going to start with a piece of Whisper White cardstock and Bermuda Bay, and what she did was just, you know, draw a squiggly freehand line around the outside. Now, if you're anything like me, you go, ugh, at the prospect of that. I'm not a freehand drawer. You know, my husband can draw, you know, all kinds of things, but that is just not me. So if I mess this up, you know, just beware. This is not really my forte here, but we're going to try. So the trick that that I found when doing this, we have a little sort of little doohickey X there, is that when I do my lines, you really want to do it in sort of one fell swoop. You don't want to do one and then two. And anyway, it's better to just do it fast and hope for the best. Now, I'm going to place my little sort of X shapes in their various spots, and then I'm going to draw my lines. Gulp. Okay, anybody else feel this way? Comment and let me know. Who out there is like feels like me about the hand-drawn thing? So we're going to start up here, and let's see what we can do. Look what I did, I stopped. I guess I kind of have to stop at the corner. So I'm not doing too bad here. Let's see what we got. That one was a little wonky on the end. But what the heck, it makes it look real, right? So so there you go, there's that one. And I did actually do it on the other side just in case I messed up. I kind of like the back side better. That last line was a little wonky. But anyway, super straightforward, right? Easy. Yeah, hand drawn, not your thing. I'm right there with you, Kathleen. Okay, so I actually have an alternative to doing the hand-drawn thing. So that's going to come shortly. But before we do that, I'm going to do my stamping. So I've got my floating and fluttering set with the coordinating dies. The cool thing about these is that you've got this one single die that cuts out the main shape in here. Okay, so I'm going to sort of give you a 101 on this stamp set and how the pieces work together, because it wasn't obvious to me when I started playing with it. So of course, playing with it, I learned what I needed to learn. So there's also two of them. You see there's a second one right here. That's, of course, so it just makes it easier when you're creating or wanting to die cut, that you can do two at the same time, right? So you can stamp them and just be more efficient about the whole thing. So I am going to take my image. This is the whole darn thing. and stamp it right on my focal piece. It's going to go in the lower right-hand corner, so it's essentially, you know, taking the place of my little snail there that I didn't have. So I wanted something that just would sort of fit in the bottom corner and then might be fitting to go with some element like those little hearts, you know, swooping up into the sky. So that was my thinking in choosing this stamp set and this image in particular. Okay. Let's get it nice and inked. Now I'm using my Memento ink because, of course, I don't want to stain my photopolymer stamps with my StazOn, even though, as you guys know, StazOn is my favored black if I have the choice. Get my nice crisp image there. Sometimes it's better to have a foam mat underneath, but it didn't seem to be an issue with this image, so we're good on that. And now I'm going to bring in some of the images that sort of fill out the shapes and show you some of what I learned along the way. There's lots of images that fit in these too, which makes it kind of fun. Okay, so it's almost like coloring, but you don't have to worry about, you know, the time it takes to color. So I'm going to start with my Bermuda Bay images and do my foliage, the closest to a green in this stamp. Now this is always the hard part, right? It's going over the top on camera when I can't get up close. Normally I'd have my head right in there. And actually, if it's not right on, you know, you can see there's the tiniest bit of white in there. It almost looks a little bit like a shadow, which is cool. I see your question, Christine. I'm not sure I understand it, though. We're hand drawing lines with X? I don't really know. So, I mean, anyway, I drew a little X in these particular spots just to break up the lines. Is that what you mean? I don't know. Ask me again. Ask me in a different way. Confused. Okay, so now I've got this image, which essentially fills in my other foliage. Again, going over the top. Turning it and getting it in just the right orientation so it's easier to get at is always a good thing. So there we go with that. And then for my other colors, now this is the color scheme that's in the designer paper, the snail mail designer paper, which is one thing that we do try to stick with in the tutorial bundle, is that there's a color scheme that we're supposed to use. So that gives us some nice parameters for design, which I like. Now for mine, I wanted to do the biggest butterfly in the lightest color, and then I'm going to do the other two in the red. So I could do this full ink, just fill it in and be done with it, but I'm going to actually make it a really three-step stamped image by stamping off, doing my light shade of yellow in the center, and then I'm going to use this image to give it a little bit more definition. And I could do like an orange or something like that, but I decided to go with a little bit more subtle, where you just see the subtle detail in there. Doesn't look like I got that, like that really showed up too much, but oh, dang, do you see what I just did? Shoot, hate that. Okay, well, I'm going to show you something. I'm just going to pretend that that didn't happen. Where did it go? Okay, so I was thinking when I was doing this, could I use these two images by themselves? Oh, a heart or a diamond instead. I like that idea. Thank you, Beverly. Yes, and I hope, Christy, you like that idea too. So anyway, so I decided I would play around with these two images and see if I could just do them alone. And this is what I came up with, right? So this was the Daffodil Delight, and then the other images over the top, and they're too close in color to really be able to tell the difference. And then I did it on here. So it kind of doesn't really stand alone, right? Because it doesn't have the body in the middle. It would be okay if it had a body in the middle, but it doesn't have the outside frame or anything. So these images really have to be used in combination with this. So now, just for the purposes of showing you the rest, I'm going to do my other two butterflies, even though I made a mess of this. So now, here's your job, people. Think of alternative ways for me to deal with the fact that I got yellow all over there by accident. Is there some creative alternative outcome that could be fun that would fix my boo-boo and make it no longer a boo-boo? Okay, so now I've stamped my red in the center, and then I'm going to stamp this other image to give this butterfly a little bit more detail. I think that looks really pretty. So you got 3-step stamping to make that whole image. And last but not least, I've got this last butterfly. This shape is so weird, but it fills in this other butterfly. I have to be watching your comments. I'm looking for ideas. How do I fix the yellow boo-boo on there? There's got to be a way. Ooh, that was spot on. How'd I do that? Okay, now I'm doing the detail image that goes to the left of this other butterfly. So aside from my, yellow owie there, that looks pretty, doesn't it? I think it looks really pretty. Ribbon over the boo-boo. Well, I have ribbon planned for this, but it's really like off to the left. And you know what I'm thinking? I know what I'm thinking. Maybe you guys are thinking this too. It might be a long shot, but let's just try it. I'm going to bring in my new favorite tool, my blending brush. If you haven't seen these are to die for. I just love them. I have a whole bucket of them now. And I think I have 3 more coming in the mail. Which, hey, I think that's a cool thing. I don't know that I need all that many, but I'll make use of them. So I'm going to go ahead and just, live dangerously, and I'm going to sponge. I'm going to actually do some color on the edges to kind of pretend that yellow there was supposed to be there. Shh, don't tell anybody. You can see I'm starting off the page so that if it's really dark at the beginning, it doesn't do a really dark bit on the front, on the focal piece. And I like to do that too, because it ends up that the edge is darker than towards the center. Let's see if this might be like a happy accident. How often do we have happy accidents? I think it makes crafting fun. I might have to change the base color of this. That's what happens, right? Okay, so I'm going to do just a little bit more on this side to, again, help pretend that yellow is supposed to be there. Definitely helps, I think. We'll see. Add a small butterfly. So that's the thing. Well, I could add a small butterfly. I haven't had any cut, but the die set does have several additional butterflies. This one, of course, which has dry embossing as a part of it, and that, of course, cuts out the outline. And what else? Are there other ones? These are just like foliage and stuff. That one cuts out this individual shape. So I could do that. We'll see how it goes with this yellow, and we'll go from there. Now, the other thing I could do is grab my sand eraser tool, which I love, and just, kind of go over the spots that are a little bit, in the middle. See if I can make that happen. It's definitely better. We'll see how it comes together on the card, right? All right, so I'm going to put these stamps away, inky stamps. We will kind of add it to the card. Like I said, I might need a different card base, but we'll see how this goes. And essentially, that's kind of it. I'm going to attach it to the front. Let's attach some ribbon. Now, on Joe's card, she used some linen thread, and I, for the life of me, thought that I had linen thread. I always have linen thread, but could not find it in with my ribbons when I was looking. So this is actually a pool party ribbon, but because it's, what is this called? Whatever the name of this ribbon is called. It's, shoot. The name is slipping my mind. Somebody's going to say it out there for me. This particular kind of ribbon, I want to say gauze, but it's not gauze. I hate when words don't come to me. Anyway, it's thin, it's sheer. You can't really tell what the color is so well, and as a result, it goes just fine with the Bermuda Bay, even though it's not exactly that same color. So there you go. I got through my word challenge. And I'm just going to do that to get it, inch it up. And let's see how that looks with my yellow. I don't know, a lot of yellow. It changes the whole thing, doesn't it? I might not have to, I might not be able to attach it. I love it, Wendy. I'm going to come to visit you in the United Kingdom. You can give me some linen thread. I love that. I want a trip. Of course, I'm not going to get on a plane anytime soon, but oh, I love the idea. So I don't know. What do you guys think? It's a little yellow with the Bermuda Bay. I might have to mix up and play with the card base, so I'm not going to attach it. But that's what happens, right? When you make a boo-boo is you just kind of go with the flow. Okay, so I have other things to show you. So I could have, if I'd wanted to, used my Blends alcohol markers to color this piece. So I have stamped and die cut the piece, you can see there, and I've done some coloring of it already. Bring my light in so you can see a little bit better. And so I'm going to finish it up. So what I have done so far, I've finished the red one, that little butterfly, but I've just done my dark elements on these other three elements. So I'm going to just quickly kind of do my coloring of that. I do love the Blends alcohol markers, so I'm going to start with my light since I have the dark on there already. And I'm going to use what I call the nubby end because it gives me a lot more control than the fat end. And this is a pretty small space that I'm working in. And because it's small, I don't need to worry too much about a whole lot of blending. But it is subtle, but you can see the different shades of color, and I think it's pretty. Adds something to the focal piece that you wouldn't otherwise have if you're just doing straight stamping. So now I've got my light daffodil. Again, I've done my dark daffodil elements on there already. And for this one, it's kind of a bigger image, so I'm going to use the fat end just in the interest of time. And I could leave a little bit of white in there if I wanted, just for some highlights, which I'm sort of trying to do, but it's a very small space to do that with. So what I'll do afterwards is come in with my color lifter and just touch up where the white was to just kind of blend the color a little bit. Bring some highlights into and shading into the butterfly, just a little bit. And now last but not least, I'm going to use my light red Blends alcohol marker and do the same thing on this last little butterfly. This is the kind of stuff that's like meditative. You just get lost in the coloring. Makes it very fun. So, if you haven't heard me say before, I've never considered myself to be a colorer, and part of that is just I don't want to sit and I'm not patient, right? I just want to. I like how the ink goes on full bore when you do an ink pad, but the blends have kind of changed my tune because I feel like I can do a much better job than I ever thought I could doing with this kind of coloring. And you can see it, like I just kind of rough shot over the whole thing and it's all good, right? It just looks pretty. So now let's compare it to the one that's stamped. Ignore the yellow around the outside maybe. And you know, you get different detail, right? So the stamps there give you detail. Same with here. And this is just a little bit more subtle detail. So just another option. Hi, Kathy. I'm glad you joined in. I love the blends too. So what else did I want to show you? Okay, so there's another thing I wanted to show you, another version. So on this one, I'm going to use the image in the set, that is this one, and do an outline around the outside. So if you're like me and you don't really love the idea of doing the hand-drawn elements, you can do this instead. Now, I'm going to actually do second and third inking for this because these images are a little bit stronger than the line would be. And the question is, do I need my... Can I get away without those little... You know what I'll do? I'll leave a space and I'll do what somebody else suggested. I think it was Beverly. Do like some hearts or a diamond or something just for fun. So let's see what we think of that. So this allows you to do the same thing but not have to draw the darn line. So I'm going to do what I did on the other side where I'm going to have the little shape sort of catty corner, if you will, on here. And yeah, I can't remember what I did first or second there. Okay, so I'm leaving a space here, and I think this is second, third rather. And then up at the top, leave a little space in the middle. So there's an alternative. And what should we do? Should we do a heart? Should we do a diamond? I think, let's draw a little diamond on here and see what we think. It's kind of dark. How about a little heart? Maybe that's the thing to do. I like hearts. Okay, we're going to go for it. And then you guys can help me decide if I want to use this side or the side that I did on the back side. My insurance side. I don't know, I'm not so good at freehand hearts either. Okay, so there's creating as we go. There's my version with the little hearts. Diamonds would probably have been safer. Again, freehand, definitely not my thing. But let's see what you think of the other side. So the other side, I did, full strength ink all the way around. So now's the time to vote. Which one do you like better? And I did the little, X's in the corners. It's a little bit more solid. So there's that. Oh, and you know what? I have my colored image so we can take a look at it with both versions. Let's do this because that's actually the finished piece for that. So we got that with the little itty bitty hearts. Oh, you like the heart side, Christy? Well, that's a good thing because, oh my God, look what I did. I am just an inky mess today. I think maybe I've made my decision. I'm sorry, people who like the full strength, because I just got red all over that side. Oh my Lord. Jeez Louise, man. Is there something I can cover that up with? I'm going to spend all night fixing my boo-boos. All right. Darn. Everybody's saying full strength except for a few. Okay, you like it with the hearts, Bonnie? All right, well, so there's that. Now, there's one other element on this that I'm going to bring in. Plus, I stamped the inside. So I'm going to show you that. So, yeah, I don't want to be fixing that backside. So guess what? We're going with the hearts because that's what we're doing. Grab my adhesive. But it's good to know you guys like this side as well. I think it would look good. It has a stronger look to it, which kind of goes with the strong outside edge of the heart. What is it called? The hearts and bunnies image. What am I thinking? The butterflies image. I don't know what's going on with me today. Okay, so I have to do it that way because hearts are upright. There we go. And I'm just justifying it to the far side. This piece, I believe, is 3.5 inches wide. And then, I mean, I could have stamped right on here, but I can also just do that. I could pop it up if I wanted. I think I kind of like it flat, so I'm going to go with the flat look. Squeaky, squeaky adhesive machine, right? And then all I have to do is the inside and my little heart embellishments. So I've got these, which are part of the snail mail suite. My paper piercing tool there. And I'm just going to put a few of them. So has anybody noticed, I don't know if you guys notice hands, you know, when you watch a person do crafting online, but if you do notice hands, I don't like to use nail polish or anything like that. It's just not my thing. And I pretty much just cut my nails and, you know, that's the way it is. But a few weeks back, and I'm almost embarrassed to say this, I had a little mishap, shall we say. It was a one-time mishap that will never happen again. It's the kind of thing where you do it once and it never happens again. Kind of like that incident way back when that I'm sure I shared with you guys where I actually was pouring hot water from pasta into the sink and it sort of spilled on my belly and I burned my belly. I know you guys do crazy things like that too. So this finger, I hate to show it to you, but I sliced it on my guillotine. I actually went right down on it and I was totally freaked out because, you know, I wasn't looking and paying close enough attention. Anyway, so because my hands are in this video, I thought you might notice this strange thing on my nail. Anyway, fortunately, all it did was give me a little bruise on the back and it, you know, cut the nail, but this is like 3 weeks old. It's going to be there for a long time, I think. It's going to have to grow out. Anyway, that's my little boo-boo. This is a night of like boo-boo stories and stuff. But anyway, what the heck, fun. So there you go. I think it turned out really cute, even with my little makeshift hearts and the outside edge. I like it. I hope you guys do too. So I'm going to show you the one, my version that I actually finished. And so this is the one I actually finished, where I stamped right on there. And I also used the blends on that one. I know, I'm freaking you out. Well, I freaked myself out. I mean, it hurt, but it was more just the thought that I had like almost chopped off the tip of my finger. It was just absolutely mortifying. Much scarier than like inking up an ink pad with the wrong color, but the same vein of, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I did that sort of thing. All right, so let's get a little inside piece here just for fun. So I have, oh my gosh, do you see that there? It's just a night of ink in all the places that it doesn't belong. Stop it. Just stop it. Now my sand eraser is going to do a good job on that one. All right, so I'm just going to do a couple of images in the lower in the upper right hand corner of this one, and this is the only image in this whole stamp set, and I'm not lying, except for this framed piece that you can stamp separate from this guy, right? So all the other images are intended to layer one over the other, and so this one lays over that one. All the butterflies lay over this main one. So this is the only image, and it's a partner, the one that fills it in, that stands alone, which I think is kind of interesting. So I had to play around to discover that as I was playing with this stamp set. And each time I put one of these on, I'm just tilting it. Oh my gosh, I did it again. Lord, what is going on with me today? Well, this is the kind where I can turn it over, right? So, you get the idea. I'm going to now fill it in with the accompanying image. And it just looks so pretty with this Bermuda Bay filling in those leaves. And I'm going to stop right there because I have one that's finished. So we got this one that is all done that I'm going to put inside. Isn't that pretty? I just love that. I think it turned out so pretty. I know. Scary incident, right, Karen? Oh my goodness. We have to be able to laugh at ourselves, right? Especially if it's a minor injury. But you know, these hands of mine. I mean, what would I do if I didn't have my hands? I use my hands all the time, as we all do, right? So there are my finished cards. So I got that one in the inside as well. And I think my pool party ribbon works really well on the side. So just point of comparison, right? And I think this is also a great sort of, one of the things I love about doing these redos is it's a great way to show how easy it is to take your own stamps and make your own beautiful design from something that you know, you don't have because you have something different. Oh my goodness, you took a chunk of the tip of your finger with this, the snips. Those snips are so sharp. I totally can see that. So anyway, I hope you guys like this. I might fiddle around with this one. We'll see. I don't think I'm going to leave it on the Bermuda Bay, though. The yellow is just too strong. So, for me. So we'll see. If I come up with something that I like, I will most definitely share it. All right, so I'm going to clean up all this stuff and show you the second project that I have, which is actually even quicker than this one. This one wasn't actually that quick because there were lots of things I wanted to show you. So let's just remove the chaos a little bit. I have had a lot of fun playing with that butterfly image, and it's a new set for me that I just started playing with, so fun to play with it and to share. Okay, ready for project number 2. Now this project is made with the flowering vine dies. So I have die cut them all so you can see all the different shapes. And like I said, when I saw this set of dies in the catalog, I had to have them. And I wasn't like in love with the stamp set itself, but I have been playing with the stamp set and really enjoying it now. I especially love that image right there. So stay tuned for more projects that actually use the stamp set. Today I'm just featuring the dies. So, where are my pieces and parts? Okay, so we got my pieces and parts. This is a simple card. This piece is dry embossed with the subtle 3D embossing folder, if you can see that. And then it's die cut with one of the rectangle stitched framelits. This is basic gray, also die cut with a stitched framelit. And I have die cut the rectangle shape from this set of dies, that one, the rectangular one, in my basic gray. So I knew I wanted to work within this same color scheme, or really had to actually, and so I needed to pick some neutral colors to be kind of, to be able to connect all the other colors together. So I'm going to be playing with some flowers that are from these die cuts. So I'm just going to pull these out. And of course these are designed so that you can stamp on them. The images in the set coordinate with those shapes. Just bring that in so you guys can see it, sort of. Glare. Okay. So what I'm going to start with is this piece here. And what I've done, I'm going to show you a fun little trick. I have taken one of my old multi-purpose liquid glue containers that really just had the tiniest bit still in it, and opened up the big side, and I pulled out my afraid to do this on camera, but you can pull out this little piece of applicator piece. You see that? And I poured the tiniest little bit of water in. Not a lot, just a little bit. And then, just like when you're cleaning out a jar or something, you shake it up, and then the little bit of water in there mixes with the glue. And it makes it sort of a thinner glue. And I've seen people do this where it's really diluted, and you put it in a spray bottle, and you can spray it on things, and it sort of makes it like Post-it note paper. You could do that with a stencil as an example. For this case, I mean, I've seen people do this with full strength glue, but with a little bit of water in there, I think it helps with the application. So I'm just putting a little bit on my sponge. And the other thing I like is that if it's more diluted, it's a little bit easier to wash your sponge, and it spreads a little bit better on your piece. Okay, so I have actually already done this on here. You can see how it's shiny. So I did that thing where I do it way ahead of time, let it dry a little bit so it's super tacky, and then I don't have to worry about getting that glue on my fingers. Now I'm going to do this a second time for my second step, but at least I don't have to do it for the first step. So I'm going to actually take this piece, and I'm going to start placing my flowers in behind, and I'm going to plan which one I put where. The first one that I did, I had to mix up the colors because that's just, I don't know, this is what I do. I can't do the same thing twice, so I have to remember what I decided was my plan here. Let's go back here. So there is a right side and a wrong side when you do your die, so you can see this is sort of the rough edge. Top edge looks nicer because the cardstock is sort of curled down when it gets cut. So I'm going to put this face down because this is the back side, and place it right over the opening where it goes. Now I probably could grab my take your pick tool. This might be helpful to place. And I'm just going to take a look, make sure that it's hidden behind there well. Okay, now for my pattern. This is the trick. Oh yeah, I can't remember this part. I'll show you the original one that I did when I'm done, and oh my, just looked at the clock. I should never look at the clock. I could be like on here all night long. I don't know where the time goes. So there's 4 places where I'm going to put these Bermuda Bay pieces. So just incidentally, one of the things that I loved about the Maker's Mojo event was my presentation was about an hour and a half long. One of them was an hour and a half, the other was an hour. And when I do Facebook Lives, I always feel like I'm taking too much time. Like I shouldn't be taking up so much of your time. Like it should be faster. So it was just such a treat to just kind of show and demonstrate, and I had it all organized so that I knew what I was going to cover, and covered a lot in the space of time that I had, but it was just fun. And then to see people's comments and everything made it even more fun. Okay, so now I've got all these little Daffodil Delight pieces. Let's see. And I'm going to place these over, let's see what I decide. That was I need 6 of those. Yeah, I think I'm doing it the way I'm supposed to be doing it. Okay, because I'm creating a pattern here, essentially. And that's just kind of how I'm wired. I like patterns. And there are 6 of these yellow ones that sort of surround that center one. Now, the other thing that's cool about doing these challenges for me is that, you know, there's colors, and the designer papers do this also, that I would never really put together. Like I would never naturally put these 3 colors together. And so it kind of, again, gets me out of my comfort zone playing with things that I might otherwise not play with. So I'm not going to press them down until I know that they look right. So there you go. And so the thing too about the glue, if this glue were the, you know, white and fresh having put on there as opposed to having sat there and dried, I wouldn't really be able to move them because it does dry pretty quick. but because it's just air dried and tacky, I'm able to move them if I need to. So I've got now 4 more places to put my red ones. Now, I'm actually just going to show you this finished focal piece, and then I'll show you my finished project and do the rest of the assembly off camera, so you can just kind of get the look without watching me do all the pieces. Okay, on there. Still takes some time to do this, no doubt, but it's a pretty straightforward design. Gotta place it face down. There we go. I'm going to give you one other tip for doing this if you guys do this yourself. Okay, so there's my pattern. Now you have to own those dies. I know, they're beautiful dies. I mean, this is like only the first thing I've created with the dies. I have another thing in the brew, which I'm excited to finish and share. Yeah, I just love these shapes. So the other thing that I was going to tell you that I did on the other project I was working on is if you put it up against the black, you'll see that in some places you can sort of see the edges of the yellow if you're, if you're really looking closely. So you can turn it over and just take your black pen and mark the edge, color the edge with your Stampin' Right marker or whatever, just to, so you don't see those as noticeably. Because if it's up on black and, I don't want to color it from the front though, that's the thing, because I don't want to get it on the gray, so I color it from the back side. You can see those are coming off, but as soon as I press them on there, they're going to stay in place. And then what I would do with this is just take my sponge that has the wet glue on it, tap over the whole thing, place it on here, and then I'm just going to show you my layering, and I'll show you the final project, and we'll be finished. You can compare the two versions. So they're pretty close to one another, just slightly different in where I place things. And so there is my original one. Basically just put yellow in the center. In this one I put red in the center and, mixed up the red and the yellow basically. And then the other thing I did on this one was take some of the matte black dots, a large one in the center, and the smaller ones on the outside. So I just think it's gorgeous. It's so simple, but and a little bit time consuming, of course, with the placement and all, but I just love how it turned out. So I hope you guys did too. Let's see, where'd my other cards go? Throw them off to the side. Put it all up here on the screen so you guys can see. And I'll put that together off camera and we are good to go. Okay, so I promised some other announcements. So, and some more show and tell. So let's see, should I do it facing me? I think I'll show you. Yeah, I'll show you down here, because why not? So, the two things, I'm going to save the most fun thing for last. I'm going to turn the camera, because I have to, I know, it's funny. I feel like if I turn the camera, then I can see you, which is just ridiculous, but that's the way it makes me feel. Because I really want to see all your faces. This way I can see your comments. I guess that's part of it too, right? Get to see your comments. So the big announcement about my technique classes is that I have decided that I need to change the format of how I'm doing the video piece. So instead of doing edited video, which literally takes me, I swear, like maybe 5 full days to do. It's ridiculous. And part of that is that I can't let go of my perfectionism side. So it's completely impractical. So what I've decided that I'm going to try moving forward is I'm going to do a live event online. Part of the revelation of deciding this was because I enjoyed the Maker's Mojo event so much. Loved presenting live and sharing with people. And what I'd like to ideally do is do it in a Zoom format with a Facebook option so that I can see people's faces and people can see my faces. My face, I only have one face. And we can have interaction around creating the technique. So I'll show, and then people can share, and then the video will still be available for people who can't attend the live online event. But it'll be kind of the best of both worlds, because I'm excited about the prospect of connecting in a community of crazy technique junkies as well. So that's my big announcement. I hope that those of you who have taken my technique classes are excited about that change, and those of you who haven't may even want to sign up knowing that, because I think it will be a really fun, different way to do it. I'll still be doing a tutorial PDF, which is with visuals, with photographs and instructions, and I'll still be doing a document that shows you all the dimensions and supplies for the projects that we make, plus a quick reference technique page, which is the other component of my technique classes. So anyway, that's my big announcement there. Now, let's see what else. So the other thing is the box that I got this afternoon. Let me just see if there's anything else that I have to tell you before, to make you wait a little bit longer. Let's see. Yeah, so I guess I should tell you that for technique classes, since we're on that, I shared the topics earlier. I'm offering subscriptions, which is a fee-based option for getting 3 classes all at once, which are less expensive than doing them per class. The subscription window is open only through mid-February, so February 15th. And then the same is true for club options. Club options are a commitment to purchase product, and then you get the classes for free, and you get free product at the end of the club cycle. So those are the 2 main options that are especially time sensitive now, because they're only through the 15th of February, and I only offer those windows twice a year. So that's an important deadline. And make sure to check out that article on craftworld.com if you feel so inclined. Just it's fun to see that out there. And you know, and if you want to get the Hey Chicks bundle or Hey Birthday Chicks bundle, just know that information's there too. Pretty cool, fun, and I'd love to see what you make with it too. Okay, so those were my reminders. I will be back next week. That'll come next. Okay, so in my box, the fun stuff in my box was that Stampin' Up! Has released a pre-order for demonstrators only this month. It'll be available to demonstrators, to customers next month, of this amazing, beautiful suite of products that's going to be in the annual catalog. It's called, I think it's called Butterfly Brilliance, Butterfly Bouquet, something like that. The stamp set and the dies will be in the catalog come May, when the new catalog goes live, but there's some exclusive designer papers that won't be in the catalog. That will only be available starting next month and until while supplies last. So anyway, this is the stamp set. Woo! Sneak peek, coming next month. And this is actually one stamp. And there's a 1 die that cuts the whole thing out all at once. But the die set, I'm not opening this, it has to be a surprise, actually has 12 dies in it. So one of those big ones and then a bunch of the other ones. So a bunch of other shapes and coordinating pieces. So the designer paper that's only going to be available for while supplies last, one of them is called Natural Touch. It's just beautiful, this delicate wood grain paper. I got the maximum of what I could get in my pre-order. I was so excited. And then this is just a quick sneak peek. The main first page of this 6x6 Butterfly Bijou designer paper, it's called Butterfly Bijou. But the patterns are also really beautiful in this. This is just a gorgeous one. And I have a feeling that the die may cut all of these out at once too, which is also very fun. So that's my little sneak peek. Couldn't help but resist tell you guys, since I just got that this afternoon. All right, that concludes my Facebook Live for tonight. I know it's late. I've kept you a long time. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I will be back next Thursday, same time, same channel. That's February 10th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another set of fun projects, or it might be just one project. We'll see. Haven't actually decided what I'm doing next week. So thanks again for joining me, and I will see you soon. Bye, everybody. Mwah. Anybody have anything to say before I leave? I should look at comments. Hello. Hi, Mary Beth. Hi, Leslie. All right, we'll see you next week. Bye.